What's up, guys? My name is Adam and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about one bill in particular. This is a bill that is in the state of New York. It is currently read. It is in committee, which means it hasn't gotten to the floor yet, but they are discussing it and could hit the floor to be voted on as early as, I believe, January 8th or January 9th. I'm not sure the date when they're back in session in New York, but as early as January. So let's talk about it. Bill number is A as in Apple 416, A416. The sponsor of this bill is Perry. I don't know anything about Perry. Could be a male, female. I'm almost positive that this is a Democrat, a radical one at that. Although, let's be honest, these days, is there such thing as a non-radical Democrat? And don't get it twisted. Republicans are just as bad, if not worse, because they're going along with all this nonsense. So, all right, the title of this bill, I pulled these notes. This is directly from the .gov website for New York. So, title of the bill is an act to amend the public health law in relation to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to public health. Yeah, you heard that right. Removal of cases, removal of people. Come and get you. Purpose. The purpose of this is to allow the governor or the appropriate health official to order the removal and detention of any person afflicted with a communicable disease in the event that there is a state of health emergency declared by the governor in relation to such disease. So, two things. One, sorry, I got to mute this. One, the governor just has to declare a health emergency, so it could be anything. It's not specific as to what health emergency, just anything the governor decides to declare emergency. And two, it says the appropriate health official. What's an appropriate health official? So this isn't just the governor ordering the removal of. It's any appropriate health official. So what does that mean? So it could be anybody, right? I mean, this is so broad. All right, summary of provisions. Subdivision 1 defines the circumstances that the provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency due to an epidemic of any communicable disease. So any disease that is transferable, anything. You can just call a state of emergency, he or she. Such persons or group of people shall be detained in a medical facility or, and here's the fiery part, other appropriate facility designated by the governor or his or her delegate. So now, it might not be a medical facility. It could be what they are doing in Australia. They call them, I actually don't know what they call them, but I call them concentration camps. I mean, let's be real. Anytime you're just rounding up people that haven't broken the law, yeah, that's a camp of concentration. Oh yeah, and then the other thing is it says his or her delegate. So once again, this could just be any person that the governor assigns to get this done. Now, subdivision 2 authorizes under clear and convincing evidence that the governor or his delegate, there we go again, may order the removal and or detention. So removal and put you in detention. I mean, I remember in school when I was in detention, it was because I had done something wrong, not because I was sick. Or such a person or of a group of such persons by issuing a single order. A single order. Subdivision 3 requires that any person or group removed or detained by order of the governor or his or her delegate, there we go again, his or her delegate, so it doesn't even have to be the governor, it could just be any person that the governor decided to put in charge, shall be detained for as long as the department may direct. You heard that right, for as long as the department may direct. So, is that indefinite? Well, we're going to find out. Now, paragraph of the subdivision 4 requires the release of an afflicted person pursuant to subdivision 2 after the department determines that such person is no longer contagious. So, first they have to determine that you're no longer contagious. Well, whatever that means. It gets worse. I'll explain it. Paragraph B requires the release of a suspected case or carrier after the department determines, with the exercise of due diligence, that such person, here we go, is not infected with or has not become or has not been exposed to such disease. It says exposes. I copied it. Exposed to such disease, and no longer is or will become contagious. Did you hear that? You're no longer contagious, or you can no longer become contagious. What does that mean? Anybody can get anything. I mean, the people that got the jab are getting COVID. So how does one determine that you can no longer be contagious? Or that you can become contagious? That's what I'm saying. How does one determine what? So you can never get sick again? Well, let's be honest. We know what the point of this is, and I'll explain. Paragraph C requires the release of a detained person after the department determines that the person is not infected with a disease or that such person no longer presents a potential danger to the health of others. So now they're saying not only can you be free of said disease, but if we determine you could potentially be dangerous to others, we're going to keep you. Well, who are these potentially dangerous people? What are the requirements that need to be met to be considered a dangerous person? Paragraph D requires the release of a contact of a suspected case after the department determines that the suspected case was not infected with such a disease. Do you understand what I just said? It says that you have to be released once they've determined you don't have said disease, but it's not you get the disease and then you, no, it is if you come in contact with somebody that had said disease, you may be removed from your home, your family, society, and put away into a detention center just based solely on the fact that you were in contact with someone else who had said disease. We're talking Constitution trampled. We're talking, this is what they did, folks. They're getting around the Constitution through medical tyranny. Or was not contagious after the time the contact was exposed to such an individual, like I said. Or after the department, here we go, determines that the contact no longer presents a potential danger to the health of others. Here we go again. Well, you might not have it. Well, matter of fact, you don't have it. But we think you're probably a danger to others, so we're just going to continue to hold you. Based on what? There's nothing. There's no criteria for why one is a danger to others. There's nothing. It's all just general. This is... This is ridiculous. This is a line that we cannot cross. This cannot be allowed to happen. Subdivision 6 provides that when a person or group who are detained for a, here we go, period not exceeding 3 business days. So, okay. So if you are picked up on Thursday, well, Friday's 1 business day. So now you're there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. By Wednesday, he or she, they, upon request, shall be afforded an opportunity to be heard. Now, here's the interesting thing. I just realized it said upon request. In other words, you've been there 3 business days, and if you don't ask to be opportunity to be heard, well, you're not going to get it. But if you do ask to be heard, if said person to be detained beyond 3 business days, they shall be provided with an additional commissioner's order. So they're like, oh, whoa. All right, you've been here 3 business days. You've asked to speak to somebody, but with a commissioner's order, we can just keep you. So, those words, shall be afforded an opportunity to be heard. Afforded an opportunity to be heard. So you've stomped on my rights, or whoever, because, yeah, you've stomped on their rights. You've taken them. You've put them in God knows where. And now you're saying after 3 business days they have the right to possibly be heard. But through the commissioner's order, you don't have to be heard. Subdivision 7 requires that a person or group are detained for a period exceeding 3 business days and requests release. The governor or his or her delegate, there it is again, doesn't have to be the governor because you know it's not going to be, shall make an application for a court order authorizing such detention. So you've been here 3 business days, you're trying to get out, and all they need to do is make a court order. Now, this is what's interesting. The application shall include a request for an expedited hearing. So the application shall include a request for an expedited hearing doesn't mean you're going to get one because, let's be honest, this isn't about freedom. This isn't about your right to live. This isn't about your ability to take care of your family. This is about who they deem to be a threat. Second-class, unjabbed citizens. Detention shall not continue for more than 5 business days in the absence of a court order authorizing such detention. So they're saying, well, if you've been here 5 days, business days, and we don't have a court order, we're going to have to let you out. But I mean, we don't know, but one can assume that there's going to be designated court of some sort to ensure that you stay where you are. In no event will a person be detained for more than 60 days without a court order. Yeah, that's right, 60 days. So we can come get you. We can put you away for coming in contact with somebody who might have had said communicable disease, which is not defined. And we can put you away for 2 months without a court hearing. 2 months. No lawyers, no right to speak up. They can just detain you. That's it. The governor or his or her delegee shall seek further court review of such detention within 90 days. So if you've been there for 60 days and you have a court order, after 3 months, you get a court review of why you're there. 3 months? That is following the initial court order authorizing detention and thereafter, within 90 days of each subsequent court review. Each subsequent court review, so we can hold you for 3 months, and then we decide you're going to stay, and you stay another 3 months. And on and on and on forever. You know, it's bad enough this is a thing, but what makes it worse, what makes it insane, is there are no parameters for which are required or needed. There are no parameters needed to be met to hold you. Just a simple court order, and we can hold you for indefinitely. Now, in order for the removal or detention of a person or group issued pursuant or the further detention thereof, the governor or his or her delegee shall prove the particularized circumstances constituting the necessity for such detention by clear and convincing evidence. So all they got to do is prove it. Well, what do they have to prove? There's no parameters. There's nothing to prove. They can just hold you. convincing evidence. Well, it says convincing evidence. The evidence, if there's any criteria, it's based on the start of this bill, which is, should the governor or health officials deem something a problem? So they can say whatever they want is the problem and then hold you indefinitely, and they can do this according to this bill indefinitely as long as they continue to say that particular issue is the issue. Or they can create new issues, or it doesn't really matter. This is the end of America right here. This is Australia come to New York. Now, let me go on. Subdivision 12 authorizes the governor to reserve the right to issue and seek enforcement of any other orders that he or she determines are necessary. Oh, here we go. Seek enforcement of any orders that they determine necessary. So now we can just broadly do whatever we want at any time because the governor or his or her health delegates deem it to be true. In order to prevent transmission of the contagious disease, testing or medical examinations of persons to complete an appropriate prescribed course of treatment. So now they're going to prescribe something. You can't leave without the prescription, or you can't leave without going through whatever it is that they require you take. Preventative medications. Oh, so now it's preventative medication on top of it, because once again, you don't even have to have said communicable disease. You just have to have maybe possibly been in contact with somebody who has. And here's the kicker. Or vaccination. So you don't want to go through all those process? Maybe they're thinking, go ahead and get the jab and we'll let you go. Because as far as they're concerned, you can't get said disease if you get jabbed. If said person has been contaminated with dangerous amounts of radioactive material or toxic chemicals. What radioactive material? What toxic chemicals? Where is this coming from? Do they know something we don't know? Why is there suddenly radioactive materials that are going to be such a problem that they have to pass a bill about it? Or toxic chemicals. What chemicals? There's just whatever they deem toxic, such that the individual may present a danger to others and will be subject to decontamination procedures deemed necessary by the department. Once again, it's just based on whatever they feel is necessary. No one has any say about any of this. Remember, folks, in America, the government is supposed to work for us. They're supposed to do what we say. It's not the other way around. But this is straight totalitarian control, and what they say goes. It's not we the people, it's they the few. Subdivision 13 allows that the provisions of this section shall not be construed to permit or require the forcible administration of any medication. You're like, oh, sounds good, right? Like they can't force you to take medication without a court order. So they can lock you up, hold you indefinitely, refuse to let you go, and then eventually force drugs into your body. Look, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, right, left, middle, center, whatever it is. Democrat, Republican, conservative, SJW, it doesn't matter. What matters is it's my body. It's my choice. Apparently that only, according to our current governor, that only time that is a true statement is if you're having an abortion. Murdering babies in the womb. That's my body, my choice. And then there's a section that they have that says justification. I didn't even write any of it down because who cares? There is no justification for this. There is no justification. But I'll tell you the long and short of it. They are trampling on your rights as a citizen of America, as a human being in this world, through medical tyranny. Without the cooties and all these other things that are going on right now, this wouldn't be possible. See, what happened was they scared everyone. Well, not everyone, obviously. I'm not one of those people, and everybody I know is unafraid of all of this. But the masses are so afraid that they are willing to allow this to go on. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. Benjamin Franklin's most famous quote. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary freedom, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. No truer words have been spoken. Well, guys, got more videos coming. We're going to have a good time in 2022. Channel name will probably change. I have interviews coming up. People here locally in the state of Arizona. And once I figure out this audio and all these other things that need to be figured out and get this maybe changed around a bit, it'll get great. So it's not always just going to be breaking news or information that some people will consider strikes fear. There's going to be a lot of positive stuff too. God is doing amazing things, and we're here to witness the end of it all, man. Exciting times. All right, guys, tell somebody you love them. We'll see you next time.